What's up, YouTube world? If you want to know what it looks like behind the scenes in running an Etsy shop, then stay tuned because I am going to show you my Etsy stats. Yes, you will see exactly how much I make on Etsy. So stay tuned as we take a look down memory lane on how to get the most and how to make money on Etsy. You are looking to start your own business and you want to get it up and running and making money within the first 30 days, do not miss out on your opportunity to download Manifest Your Success, the secret steps entrepreneurs are taking to make money, right? So go ahead and grab that link down in the comments. It was around November 18th, I believe, was my first day actually getting on Etsy. And so right now what you're looking at are my stats. Technically, within the first 45 days of getting on there. And within those first 45 days, I made $134, right? I made 6 orders, $134. So since then, my shop has evolved quite a bit, right? I've offered many things that I did back then that I do not now, only because my direction, I had to figure out what direction I was going with my shop. And so I'm going to scroll down a little bit where you can see some of the listings. So I had a spell candle kit and I sold 2 of them, one to a complete stranger, which was very exciting for me. And the other person was someone that I had actually gone to high school with that I was very surprised who actually made the purchase, but I was very happy to get that. And then I also had these crystals that I did not know what I was going to do with because I like to go and mine them up in the mountains, but I had too many of them. And so I said, okay, let me turn them into necklaces and put them up for sale. And as you can see, some of them did not sell on Etsy, but it's okay. I did have a couple that did, like you can see here with the bold amethyst. I did have a bath up there that I still carry now, but during this time, within the first 45 days, I did not make any money off of it. So let's take a look at some of the other things, right? I did have this prosperity bath up there. I had some more pendants. I had a candle that I had hand decorated, just a lot of things. And as you can see, my pictures are not the best. I was learning how to take the pictures, and they say that pictures are everything, especially when you're selling online, but it's okay, right? I'm quite all right with that. All right, so now with me trying to figure out what I was doing, I decided to kind of play around with things. And so right now I'm actually going to show you how much money I made in January of 2019. So this is going into my second month of having an Etsy shop, and I had to figure out some things, right? I really wanted to make money and I wanted to make more money, but I needed to become a little bit more focused and a little bit more into what I was offering. So actually, let me go and change my time frame again here. Let's go back to January 2019 when I really began to get a bit more intentional and actually truly understanding Etsy more, because I did just kind of jump on Etsy with the whole thing like, oh, I'm just going to see what this is about. And so in January 2019, my full second month in business, I brought in $155, and I actually sold a lot of those same things that you saw here where I started out with, right? And so I continued to sell. And again, my pictures, some of the pictures are of current times, like the multiple bath salts up there. That's what I have currently, as well as the super uncrossing. But my original pictures did not look like that. They looked more like the spell candle kit, and then also like the natural smudging spray, which sold. And I was like, oh yay, that was something that was really interesting because I had never made it before, but it smelled so good. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right on into going into the second month. And the reason why I am breaking this down like this is so that you can see that it takes time to grow your audience and it takes time to build up a presence on Etsy, right? So the first month I made 134, and the second month I made 155. But, you know, here goes the next month, February, my second month in business, right? Well, technically my third, and my revenue truly increased. It almost doubled. Well, yeah, pretty much it did double, a little bit more than doubled from the first couple of months of being on Etsy. And so, bam, now I have something that I am working with, right? So my pictures aren't as bad as I thought they were because people are coming and purchasing, and you could not tell me anything when I made that almost $500 in February. Now, as I'm going along, I'm actually getting a bit more intentional. I'm trying to narrow down exactly what my shop is going to be because I did not want to carry any more crystals. It was kind of a like a one-time thing because, again, I just had this overabundance of crystals and I didn't want them to go to waste, essentially. So I had to figure out what else I was going to put up. And so when March came around, you can see that I doubled again my revenue, where now I'm almost at $1,000 of being in business on Etsy. And so a lot of the things that I learned being in business, because I just kind of jumped out there trying to figure out, okay, well, I'm just going to go on there and see what happens. If I had been more focused and if I had a clear direction on where I was going, then I'm sure I could have made the same exact amount of money within the first 30 days of opening. But I learned a lot of mistakes, and those are some of the same secrets and same mistakes that I want to share with you so that you don't have to do what I did. And so I made $940 within this, the next 3 months, and I was super excited. Again, I started adding more items. Like you can see here, I added in the chakra balancing bath that's not supposed to be inactive. I need to go change it. And so I started really building up a presence with a lot of my spiritual baths. Now, I did not add any of my oils until later on in the year, but you live and you learn as I am going through trying to figure out what exactly I'm doing on Etsy. And so I made that $1,000 in March. And so now let's look at April, right? So I'm really getting to the point where I truly understand what Etsy is doing and how I'm able to bring in a lot of my customers. And so I did not do $1,000 in April, but again, I was consistent in keeping my revenue, in the higher range versus than when I dropped when I first started at 134, and that's okay. So I said, okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to add? And if you, I'm going to show you this here, going back to May of 2019, what did I do? Right? I decided, okay, this is around the time where I need to figure out what else I'm going to add into my shop to definitely bring a bit more. Now, May, I have no idea what happened, but it was horrible. I realized a couple of things. My conversion rate completely dropped. All of May, I sold 2 items, right? I wasn't really paying attention to my shop because once I fell down a couple of $100 back in April on my stats, I really almost kind of gave up. But I found a whole new sense of faith and I said, okay, I need to keep this going. And so I realized when I went back and looked, I saw I only had 2 orders. My visits drastically decreased and Etsy did not bring in as much of my traffic that I needed to. I actually got out there and did a lot of the work. But what I realized is that I did not have enough listings up on my shop, and I also did not have the appropriate SEO needed to bring in the needed traffic. And so when I went in and made some changes on here, it actually helped. So let's go ahead and jump into June of 2019. You're going to see a really big difference here in my income where I went in and I made some tweaks and I made some changes. So boom, I instantly had $1,000 more than I made the last month. What did I do? Well, I did a whole lot. because as you can see, my conversion rate went from 2% to an astonishing almost 15% on Etsy. A lot of what I was doing was making sure that my SEO was tight in my items. I added a crap load more of different products. And as you can see down here, there are more products than I had the month before. So just a word of advice, when you're making money on Etsy, the more products that you have listed for sale, the more money that you'll bring in and the more likely you are to be found in the search engine. So that's just a little trick and secret I'm giving to you there. But now let's look at July. And then once I found a way to be consistent, July, I'm like, oh my God, what did I do wrong, right? My conversion rate completely dropped. My revenue completely dropped. And I realized that although Etsy was bringing in a lot of my visits, I was not as active in bringing in a lot of my traffic. Because if you saw in any of the stats before this, Etsy was bringing in roughly about half of my visits while I brought in the other half. And I wasn't sure what I did. But then I realized I wasn't actively working in my business. I just kind of left Etsy over to the side, trying to figure out some other things. And I realized just how much it suffered because I was not as active in promoting my own business. And I'm telling you, it was a roller coaster for me. It really was, until I understood the game. It took some time for me to understand the game. And so in August of 2019, let's show you here. In August of 2019, I'm slowly starting to bring it back up. However, I did not, again, bring in as much traffic as I had done previous and before. So I said, my pictures down here in my listings, they did not look like this then. I said, okay, I need to take some more pictures because pictures are one of the most important things when you're selling items online. So now, September of 2019, So September of 2019, I just kept going down. I just did. And it is what it is, right? I'm adding more stuff. I'm still not bringing in enough. And I had to figure out, like, is this something that I really want to do, right? Because I had some success before, but now it's dropping. What do I do now? What do I do? And I had to go back and forth in my head. I really didn't work my Etsy shop like I should have in order to bring in the amount of money that I had desired, but I just left it there, right? Because I did get discouraged. I did get inside of my head, and I did allow, just the humdrum of it's too hard, I can't do it, to really boggle me down. And that was a year ago. And once I snapped out of it and I stopped getting in my head, you see, this is what happens when you don't have the right mindset and you're not really working in your business. You're not really working to promote it. And so that was the result. I made a few $100s and boom, right? And whatever you put out is what energy you put out is what you're going to get back in return. And so that was one of the very important lessons that I've had this really huge boost of energy. And then I just kind of let it fall by the wayside. So all of 2019, I made a whopping $6,353. And that's what I did for all of 2019. Okay. Now let's move to current day, because what I've done now is I figured out I need to just go ahead and get in here, and I need to just go ahead and work this like a business. I remember my godfather told me, he said, if you want to make money, you have to work it like a business. And that was one of my huge mistakes all of 2019 on Etsy, is that I did it as a hobby and I just kind of let it fall by the wayside instead of really and truly working it like a business. And so in January of 2020, you see, I made $500. And so let's go back to February of 2020, where I said, okay, if I want to really and truly make money, I need to work it like a business. And as you can see, my income is starting to increase again. And I'm really putting forth in the effort in making sure that people know who I am. And so now let's go to March of 2020. And these are, of course, recent stats. And now I'm being a little bit more consistent in how much money I'm bringing in. Now, there's going to be a huge jump that you're going to see. So in April of 2020, you can see that I made a huge jump in income and revenue. And so this kind of renewed my faith in understanding my whole mindset and how my mindset really played into the business aspect of what it's like to not only run a business, but also be an entrepreneur and really and truly bring in the money. And so again, my income doubled again in May. I now hit $5,000 revenue. I could not believe what I had did. And it all started with a simple mindset shift where if I believed in what I did, and if I believed in what I could do as far as helping people, then other people will start to see that in my products. Boom, June, I hit another $5,000 month. Now, let's go to July of this year, because this is like amazing to me. I'm like, oh my God, it's still increasing, 6,000, right? And then I go to August of this year and it's still going up. Uh-oh, it's still going up. Let's go to August again. Okay. I accidentally I'm moving too fast on here. So now I'm in August and I'm like, holy crap, I hit $9,000 revenue. Are you serious? Like, this is a thing? Like, I can actually do this. And so now I'm like, okay, you have sold me. I get it now. I get it. And then it happened again when we go to September. I'm like, okay, well, I hit 7,500. I'm not complaining about that, right? I'm totally not complaining. But then I hit my first revenue month of $10,000. October. That had always been my goal and what I wanted to bring in my business. And I actually hit it. I hit it because I took a look at how I was treating my business as a separate entity. And I looked at it as how I was treating myself. And these are a lot. And I did a whole lot of mindset shifting. And I did a whole lot of introspective work. And so far this year, I've made $50,000 on Etsy. Now, I just showed you how much money I made of all, and I just compared the graph right here, all of 2019 compared to 2020. And you can see the dotted line down there at the bottom of the graph, but now you can see the line is like, whoa, right? And so what I just want to tell you is that it doesn't have to take a long time like it did for me. And if you just take the time to really listen to who you are, what you want to do, and get major clarity on where you want to go, you can get there 10 times faster than I did. And that's what I put into this document that's down there in the bottom of the screen, where you can get some of the secret steps that entrepreneurs are taking to make this money fast. But I wanted to learn it the hard way, but you don't have to. Learn from my mistakes, go out there and make money, and let me know, let me know how you're doing out there. If you want to start a business, what business you want to start, and we can go from there. Trust me, I'm here to help you. I love each and every one of you all. Take care.